The last step for setting up your gradebook would be setting up the total or the weighted total. In this case, this is just set up with the amount of points available. So, for example, quizzes, there's 110 points worth of quizzes, which are all right here, 300 points worth of assignments, 40 points for discussions, and exams 100 to make 550 total points in the class. If you want to use a weighted total, you can go up and either set it up in the setup wizard when you initially go into the gradebook, or add it later by clicking the settings tab and then click calculation options. This will allow you to select a weighted total. Then you can hit save, click yes a couple times, and now you can close this once you've saved it. So now you'll see there's a weighted total column with a bunch of weird numbers here. The first thing you want to do is figure out what you want each column to be worth. You can do it two different ways. Let's say the quizzes, let's say you don't want them to be worth 40, you want the quizzes to be worth 30 points. You can click the drop down arrow on the quizzes category title, hit edit, and change the weight to 30. If you want to do them all at once, you can select the quizzes, assignments, discussions, and exams, and then hit bulk edit at the top. Now you can change all of the weights right here. It's a little easier to see what would add up to 100%. So let's say the exams are worth 25%. The discussions are only worth 10. It's 35. This would be 65. And let's say the assignments are worth 35%. When we hit save, we can check our math by scrolling to the bottom and making sure this final calculated grade in the right-hand column under the weighted total equals 100. The next step for that is these weird numbers here. So what these mean is basically, let's use the discussions, for example. There's two discussions. Each of them make up 50% of the total discussion weight. So everything in each category below should equal 100, meaning these two right here, they make up 100% of the discussions total. If you were to add these up, the reason we have these error notes up here is because, let's see, assignments comes out to 124%. Because if we look under the assignments, this one's worth 45, this one's worth 45. We're already up to 90 points, plus another 33. That's calculating to be too much. That's making up more than 100% of this assignment total. So the easy way to do this is go into each category, click the drop-down arrow, and hit edit. You can do this when we're initially setting up the category weighting if you do them individually. If you do the bulk edit, you'll have to wait until you finish that and then go in how we are now separately. Under distribution, there's two options. Well, there's technically three. The top one, manually assign weight, that gets kind of confusing because you'd have to go in and individually change how much each assignment is weighted for inside each weighted category and make sure they add up to 100. So I would ignore the top one and use one of the bottom two. Distribute weights evenly across all items. I'll show you what that looks like. And if you pick this option, since they're all weighted the same, it will let you drop however many highest and lowest scores you want. If you want to drop the highest score and the lowest score, you can put a 1 in there. If you only want to drop their two lowest scores, you can put a 2 in there. However you want to do it. I will just keep these at 0 for now, but distribute weights evenly. This is for the quizzes. I will show you what that means. So notice how quiz 6 is worth 50 points, quiz 5 is worth 10, quiz 4 is worth 20. They're worth different amounts, but right here, every single one is weighted the same. And if you were to add these all up, it would equal 100%, meaning these 6 quizzes make up 100% of this 30 quiz weight total. So if you want the 50% quiz or the 50-point quiz to count for more than the 10% quiz, you can click the drop-down arrow and hit edit. And this is totally preference. Select the middle one, which is distribute weight by points, meaning however many points it's worth, that's how much it gets weighted. So now you'll see the 50-point quiz is worth 45% of this quiz grade, whereas quiz 5 is only worth 9% of the quiz grade because it's only worth 10, and this one's worth 50. So it kind of weights them proportionally. Some people like that because they don't want their 50-point quiz to count as much as their 10-point quiz does. They want their 50-point quiz to count for more since it's worth more points. So they set it up this way so it's weighted heavier. The downside is, and students won't be able to see this, but if they did technically and they just went in and did the assignments that are worth more points, let's say they did the 50% or the 50-point quiz and the 20-point quiz, they just made up 45%, 50, 63%. They can just make up 63% of this quiz total just by doing those two assignments and leave out the lower scoring ones. So it's up to you how you want to set that up, but you can set that up for all of them. The assignments will hit edit. These are all worth 100, so it doesn't matter which one you choose because they're all the same anyways. I'll just make them even. Hit save and close. Notice that got rid of the exam note up here because now they're all worth 33.3 repeating, and that technically adds up to 100 or close enough. So they make up 100% of this 35. Discussions, that's already set up, but I'm just going to check that box anyways in case you were to ever add another discussion to it. You want to make sure it calculates the right way. Okay, this is already set up evenly, so that's good. The good thing about this is now if we were to add in another quiz, it will automatically adjust all of these to account for that extra quiz, so they still add up to 100% of the quiz total. And then exams, there's only one in here right now, adding up to 62%. So we wanted to make sure that's 100. So again, just click the category title for all of these. Set it as whichever bubble you want. Like I said, I wouldn't pick the top one and pick one of the bottom two. So click the bottom bubble, save and close. And now this is worth 100. If you were to add a second exam in there, it would automatically change them to be both worth 50% of this total. So it kind of updates as you add in. But now we're good to go. It's worth 100%. You'll notice all the notes are gone, and now your gradebook is fully set up.